if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley,
Who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, happy Tuesday here at 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt coming live from 1040 O Street here at 93.7 The Ticket. Jake Bockoven, how you doing, my man?
Oh, not too bad. It's a sunny day, the 1st of July, and of course, the 4th of July right around the corner, and got our new show title in here. So Bock in the Blackshirt, going to be fun here for the next month or so.
All right, y'all can text, chat, do what you need to do. Call in. Me and Bock will answer all y'all questions here. Everybody remember, be nice. Be nice, be nice. All right, Bock, what's the text line in case you want to call in or text in at the Starter Heyman text line?
Yeah, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Allo, channel 961. We appreciate Allo and being able to be on television there if you want to look for us on that. So a lot of different ways you can find us. Of course, theticketfm.com. You can download the app as well. So basically any way that you can look to hear or listen to your favorite Husker sports talk and your favorite Husker football linebacker of all time, Terrell Farley.
Oh, man, not all time, man. It's a whole bunch of us, man. Well, but I'm one of the best, though. All right, Bock, we're going to start it off. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to talk about a lot of coaching things, a lot of rivalries, not just team rivalry. We're talking about coaches' rivalries. We're going to talk about the best freshmen since the year 2000. We're going to talk some NBA right now. So, Bock, I'm going to let you start it off with our NBA talk because there's a lot of things going on in the NBA right now.
Yeah, today is the day. A lot of people are kind of getting signed, so I haven't even looked in the last couple hours. I'm sure more has gone on. But the big news today is that the Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching his remaining contract, which is $113 million over the next 5 years. So that'd be just a little over $22 million per year on their payroll. This is the largest waive and stretch in NBA history. And it's interesting because in one way, obviously, you got to kind of mess with the numbers a little bit to be able to sign some free agents. They did sign Miles Turner. It allowed them to sign Miles Turner, the longtime Indiana Pacer who held them on that run. Turner, by the way, one of just 3 players in NBA history with 700 three-pointers and 1,400 blocks, along with Brook Lopez and Rasheed Wallace. So Turner's a solid player, but I don't know if he's quite the star power that Damian Lillard is. Remember, Lillard was among the players wearing 0 that had an Achilles injury here in the playoffs, and so is expected to be out this upcoming season. So now there's all sorts of interest. He's still one of the best players in the league, as far as we've last seen, right? You never know. An injury can kind of change that. So it makes you kind of wonder, is there a bad early return on the healing, or is it just time for the Bucks to move on and reset? And then it leads into all sorts of questions because there were already rumors earlier in the year about Giannis perhaps wanting to get out of small market Milwaukee after all this time to field a team that's ready to compete. Now it's worth saying that after the Miles Turner signing, the Bucks championship odds did go up significantly because remember before we all already knew Damian Lillard wasn't going to be there. So adding a player of his caliber helps. They've also went around and signed a few players from re-sign a few players, I should say, Bobby Portis included, to kind of help try to make this run. But I'm just going to be honest. No, if you don't have Damian Lillard, it's hard to imagine. This isn't the team from a couple years ago. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, those guys are gone and older now. So it's hard for me to imagine the Bucks as a contender here in the East as the roster is currently constructed. So I'm interested to see what the moves are moving forward. And again, the biggest news of it is whether you're looking at the Bucks or Damian Lillard, is that marriage did not work. And when they signed, when it was Giannis and Damian, man, there's a lot of people picking the Bucks to at least win one of the next couple titles. Lasted 2 years, didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Damian Lillard. I would love to see him go to the Lakers with LeBron. Did you say he was out next year? All
He's kind of in that, and they're all kind of obviously all of them had along with Jason Tatum. I mean, they've had these injuries. Tyrese Halliburton in the playoffs, so maybe he's got a couple weeks ahead of those guys. But they're all either out next year, or if rehab does go well enough, they might be able to come back for the end and maybe the playoffs.
Now, when we talk about coaches wise, the New York Knicks haven't found a coach yet.
No.
So, but they're still signing players. Isn't it kind of dangerous to sign with a team and you don't know who the coach is? That's like signing with Nebraska and they don't have a coach.
Well, it's interesting because in the NBA, obviously, it's a player-driven league, even more so than the coaches. And it just something like that really highlights that, right? And so the GMs have their job, obviously, but the GMs, you're going to be able to talk with the coaches about personality fits, about certain scheme fits. And so while not, I think, as detrimental as maybe it sounds from the outside, remember, this is a Knicks team that went to the Eastern Conference Final, that has a majority of the roster kind of already figured out and is competitive now. So it's not like a team that's kind of middling and really needs direction on that side of it. So it can help out there, but it certainly is not ideal. And it's not a good look for the New York Knicks. Now, maybe they've reportedly been down to three folks that they're kind of looking into, and maybe kind of got feedback on them. And what you're talking about is Jordan Clarkson is expected to sign with the Knicks. And I'm a big Jordan Clarkson fan, so I'm excited to see that. And he can certainly help. Has been the NBA Sixth Man of the Year a couple years ago with the Jazz. Has stuck there through the Jazz's rebuild. So now it's time he wants to go play for a contending team, and that's the Knicks. So I am intrigued by them not having a coach. It shouldn't be as detrimental to them because they're near the top of the league. But like I said, certainly not ideal and not a good look from the outside.
All right. What you got next? Well, I want to talk about this one. Probably one of the highest paid players we see now in this league. SGA.
Yes.
Reached a $285 million Supermax deal. If my calculator is right, Bock, that's around $70 million a year for 4 years, and probably a little bit more.
Yeah, it's some good money, but he deserves it, right? I mean, how can you? And that's what these new extensions are based off too. Is they've kind of built it in. That's what I like about these NBA contracts. It's not so much. I mean, it is a lot of it's potential based on what you're going to have to do. Obviously, you sign your contracts forward, not backwards. But a lot of it is based on what you're able to do. And he's positioned himself pretty well, having won the MVP and won a championship. So those type of accomplishments can raise up the level of extension that you're allowed to get in the kind of the player bargaining and all that they've done. So it's going to be a lot of money, and then you kind of get into the point like we did with Patrick Mahomes or any team with OKC. It's, man, they not only do they have this young roster, but they've got all these draft picks coming up, and so you kind of do get to the point about flexibility is once you have to sign these guys to these huge contracts, it makes it a little bit harder. And if you've been following as well with the Boston Celtics, obviously they traded Kristaps Porzingis, they traded Drew Holiday. Luke Cornett now has signed away to the Spurs, so I know they wanted to keep him, but they're doing all of this to keep below this mid-level exception, right? The player two or the level two, because from there, if you kind of stay over that, that's where you're going to start losing draft picks. They're going to be slotted down, or I mean, there's penalties that come through that will really hurt your team, hurt them and their ability to compete. And so they're basically, they created it, and Draymond Green said this on his podcast with Baron Davis. So I'm borrowing a little bit here, but that was that's that's what we asked for, right? If you said you don't want any more super teams, that's kind of how they responded, is that if you get close to putting a super team together, it's going to start hurting you. So you might have a short window like the Celtics did of a year, maybe two, to try to put something together. But when all those contracts come to fruition, they're going to penalize you again with draft picks, contracts you can sign, mid-level expression, veteran minimums, that sort of stuff. So the super team era is going to be hard. And now when you look at OKC, get that big contract, is that going to hurt their flexibility a little bit moving down the line?
Well, but it's good to say that SGA is the face of the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about the Celtics, they losing players left and right, Bock. Do you have a chance next year, right now? If you had, I mean, I know you're going to get some veterans who's going to get that veteran max contract, but do you see Boston taking a slight dive next year?
I'd say they would definitely fall from where the last couple of years they've been preseason favorites, probably had the best roster in the league. They're not going to be in that category. Jaylen Brown, depending on his health, right, because he had some health problems himself, is going to be looked to be the kind of number one on that team. So, I mean, I still think they're definitely in the category of fighting for certainly a play-in spot, but a playoff spot. I don't think they have to get down to this sell the farm thing. The problem is, again, with all the contracts they sign, even though they're shedding a few of them, is that they don't have the room. Like Cornette, they didn't have room to sign him. There's no way they could compete with what the Spurs could give him. They're hoping that they could get Al Horford back with kind of a smaller contract that he might give you a hometown discount, but he's getting significant looks from around the league with I mean, he's a versatile big man. That's a lot what a lot of people are looking for, especially that it would play a backup role. So it kind of still depends. I mean, they signed Luka Garza, which has been predominantly a bench player throughout his career. Their front court does not look all that intimidating. So we'll have to wait and see. I still like, anytime you have Jaylen Brown and Derek White out there, I think you got an opportunity, but it's not exactly the year I'm going to be holding my breath for a championship for.
All right. Houston Rockets. Man, that team is loaded now. Might give OKC a run for their money. Added Kevin Durant, added several more key guys. Looking scary right now for them.
Yeah, I'm interested to they kind of got a logjam at center, and they signed Clint Capella back. Remember, he was with the Hawks for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, they signed him back this year. So, obviously they've got some good young players up in the front court, and they kind of experimented in the playoffs with Steven Adams coming back from injury to play that center position. So it's interesting to see what they do specifically with the role players, but with the players they have, and obviously Kevin Durant, Fred VanVleet got another big contract. They do appear to be a contender. But unfortunately, that's been the case for Kevin Durant on paper his last two stints, right? There's no way you're going to tell anybody that with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and James Harden and Ben Simmons that they weren't going to compete. That thing blew up in Brooklyn. And then in Phoenix, I mean, the Phoenix was coming off an NBA Finals appearance. They blew up the roster to get him. Remember, with kind of moving around the Mikal Bridges, obviously Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, they kind of blew that core up to get Kevin Durant in, and that didn't work. And even though on paper you're thinking Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, how's this not going to work? So I do think, I mean, the Rockets coming off the number 2 seed, you would think, okay, slide Kevin Durant in, move Jalen Green out, should be good to go. They still should be at that number 2 seed capability. But like I said, that's kind of where Phoenix was. They had the same type of thing where they were one of the top teams in the West, moved a little bit around to get Kevin Durant in, and never were able to get back to that. So I'm in wait and see mode on Kevin Durant at this point, and it's hard to put there's no reason why. I mean, he's such a good player, still one of the best players in the league. He's an absolute cheat code for as well as he can shoot and dribble and shoot over any defender, but it just has not worked out with him being the number 1 the last 2
3 franchises.
Teams. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like every team that Kevin Durant has went to, he destroyed it. Not saying that he destroyed the Golden State, but if you look at the Brooklyn team, destroyed that team. Didn't even play that much. Phoenix really took Phoenix out of their element. I don't even think Booker is, he's not that guy that I thought he was, because he took a back seat to Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Now he goes to a team that was the number 2 seed. overall in the Western Conference Final. How do he fits in with these young kids? Or is he going to be able to run the court with them? Is he going to be able to lead this team, have a voice in the locker room? Now, he's a great player, no denying that. He's probably in my top 10 of all-time basketball greats. But he just hasn't done anything since he hopped on a mega team.
And you wonder, too, if he fails again, I mean, what kind of
it hurts his legacy.
Yeah.
It hurts his legacy.
His legacy is fascinating to talk about because he was, obviously with that OKC team, I think if he would just stayed there, obviously till now, you would think he might have won a title there with SGA, but I'm not necessarily saying that. They would have been competitive year in and year out because they had a good young core. I mean, maybe they couldn't have fit all those personalities in there, but you would have thought they would have maneuvered it well enough if they would have, been able to keep Kevin Durant there. And remember, that was not OKC's decision. That was Kevin Durant making the decision to leave. And so from there, you go to the Warriors, which is what makes this interesting is that he went to the best team, right? So a lot of people give him, flack for that, myself included. But then he was the best player on the best team. Steph Curry, who was maybe considered the best player in the world, or at least running the NBA, he took a back seat to Kevin Durant because that's how good Kevin Durant was. So Kevin Durant went in there, won, the NBA Finals MVP there, won a couple titles, and now then you have to give him credit for at least, whether it was battles with Draymond or whatever it was, understanding that was, even though he had the kind of the Batman role, he was still not the face of the franchise. He was still not the reason that they were as good as they were, and they were the super team. I mean, they were just a super roster that we had never seen before in the NBA. So he at least, I give him credit for identifying that and realizing with his legacy that he's probably gonna have to do it himself. It's just that it's gone absolutely disastrous since then.
All right, Bock. I don't know if you're caught up on all the NBA trades and what's going on, but if you had to name some winners and losers, who's your winners and losers so far?
Well, like you said, I mean, the Rockets, you got to put as a winner, even though I'm not all the way ready to kind of put them in the conversation to be, to put the house down basically on as far as them being contenders. But you have to think that they might be up there. I'm kind of looking at some of the latest deals that I haven't even seen yet because today again is a big day for that. Looks like the Nuggets landed Valanciunas from the Kings. So that's going to be kind of big. I want to see kind of what they're able to do and position themselves. Remember, they took OKC to 7 games. I think that's a little bit forgotten in this path of OKC's dominance, is that a Denver team with an interim coach was still able to push them to 7 games. But I mean, you just kind of looking through it. You got to look at the big deals. Like there's good things that happen here and there. The Mavs got D'Angelo Russell. I think that's an important move because they need a point guard to kind of help out there. And then there's a lot of kind of these re-signings. So I don't know if I was ready to completely give a grade for everybody because it's still so fluent right now. But another one that I liked was Brook Lopez. I mentioned him earlier. His versatility going with the Clippers now is going to help them out quite a bit as they look to push forward. Paul George left them, but they still had a what many consider a better year than expected with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden kind of returning to all-star form. Brook Lopez will certainly help. And I always thought that they had a really good core surrounding those guys. So those are a couple of teams that I thought made some interesting moves today. But I think the Rockets right now probably would have to be your winner thus far. And it's quiet on the Lakers front. So sometimes even
got some what they
not
sleep.
Getting somebody or losing somebody, even just not doing something can kind of make you a loser because they still need a center. They got to find a center.
Yeah. Joe Perez says, Heat loser. Why is no one going to the Heat, Bob? Nice place to go. Nice place. I don't know if it's Texas down there or what, but Miami is a beautiful place to be in.
Yeah, it is.
Jimmy Butler.
Out of there. Yeah. I mean, you got Pat Riley, you got Coach Spo. So I don't expect them to be down for long. They tried to run it with the in the playoffs this year, kind of with Tyler Hero and that group leading it, which is, good player, good playoff team, just not with having I mean, what happened to the Heat is what happened to every team that takes on Jimmy Butler. Is eventually Jimmy Butler gets tired, and you might have a top contending team for a while. Jimmy Butler gets tired, forces his way out, and you're kind of left with the pieces that are left over, and you have to reshuffle the deck. I will say this, to Joe's point, kind of quiet on their front as well, so you might consider them losers. But with Pat Riley and Spo there and just the city of Miami, I don't expect them to be down for long.
All right, I got an over and under question for you. Gus Mohawk. Kevin Durant in Houston will win more games than the Celtics this year, Bock.
I think right now the betting favorite would be Kevin Durant in Houston. I would take that. I would, even as a Celtics fan, I have to admit that. But again, I'm not exactly in the position where the Celtics are throwing their best punch. That's kind of been more the last couple of years, understanding where it is when your star player is going to miss a majority, if not all of the season. Kind of is what it is. So yeah, the Rockets, I'd have to take that one. But again, I wouldn't feel great about it.
All right, Bob, we got another question right here from 5317. What's worse, the 2 months in the summer with no sports but baseball, or 2 months in the winter with freezing cold and wind chills?
Well, what do you say?
Freezing cold and wind chill.
You can't take that weather. Huh?
No, I hate the cold weather.
Yeah.
I wish it could stay. No, I'm against super hot. But I'm against super cold.
Yeah, even more so.
But, if I could stay in a climate where it's probably 80 to 85 all year round, I would, without any hurricanes, tornadoes, rain. So I guess that's in heaven. So,
yeah.
I guess so. I mean, if you wanted 100 degrees, you know where you're going. So, but baseball is okay, but I can't imagine myself sitting at home watching a whole 9-inning game. It's just, I don't think my attention span is that long.
Well, it's interesting because as you'll see on today's show, we'll talk plenty of college football. I do like the months that lead up, and I was talking about the character the other day, and he kind of took that side more so than I did because I was just impatiently waiting for football. And he's saying, I like the months that kind of lead up to football because you kind of get into obviously the Hall of Fame game, and you get to see players that you might not see in the NFL battling for roster spots in the preseason, and all along it's kind of list season. Now the video game comes out, the preseason magazines, and all these arguments about who's going to do what, and so you get this long time to really build up these teams bigger than what they are because there's just nothing else to talk about. So you get there. I kind of like that portion of it, and so there is that. But I've got to admit, even though I hate the cold, and I really do, I'm like you. I'm not a fan. I hate extreme cold more than extreme heat. But there's something nice about being able to cuddle up and on your couch and watch some football, even if it is cold outside.
Do you think Adam can play video games? Do you think he can play college football? He looks like the type that, I would score on him, and he probably would just squeeze and crush the joystick, like just break it all in his hand. You can imagine that, huh?
Oh, yeah,
you see how big he is. But just imagine you're playing him, and you're sitting next to him, and you just hear something crumble and start breaking. And it's the joystick.
Oh, yeah.
And he blows his top off like Herman Munster. He's just that big guy, and I don't see him playing college sports. I mean, not college sports, but video games.
He said he's kind of like me. When you do play video games, it is sports related. Now, he also has noted that he has not been able to play as much as he's gotten older, and didn't, like myself, actually didn't grow up with video games in the house. His father, like mine, did not think that was going to lead to the best results. So,
what? I got the Nintendo when it first came out.
Right away.
My dad brought it. Hey, he got it for us. Mike Tyson Punch Out, Duck Hunt. Yeah, Contra.
Yeah.
I had it all, man.
Yeah.
My dad was a fireman. Growing up, he was a fireman, fire chief. He was gone most of the time. And my dad was strict. And he was more of a punisher when I say strict wise. Oh, you're gonna get a whooping.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that punishment, go to your room for 2-3 days. No.
Oh no.
You're gonna lay across that bed and you're gonna get that belt. So my dad is a big guy. So, it kind of hurt it, but he brushed it off. But he found ways for us to do sports. Like he would take off a lot during football season because my dad was a head coach for the Little League on our side of town. and then he became the president. So we grew up around football. You know, like when I turned 5, 6 years old, I was playing football. You know, there wasn't even no flag football for us. It was straight tackle. 6 years old, tackle. 7, 8, 9, 10. I played, and I'll tell you something funny. When I was in the 7th grade, I was in junior high in the 7th grade because we go 7 through 8. When I say 7th grade, I played my last league in Pop Warner. I was in the 7th grade, but I only played 1 year of junior high football because I played 7th grade in Pop Warner because of my age.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was 17 when I graduated, but I was still able to play. I was like 13 in the 7th grade or 12 or something like that, and I was still able to play with my buddies.
So in 8th grade, you played middle school football.
I made middle school football. Okay. Yeah. 9th grade, I got kicked off the team. 10th grade, I got kicked off the team. 11th grader, that's when I start really wanting to show what I got. I wasn't a starter, but I came in a lot, and that's when. And I think that was for me I was holding myself back, but it was a good thing because once I really started learning the game when I was in the 12th junior college, I exceeded so much instead of being burnt out because I got kicked off the team a couple of years in a row.
Oh, see, now I want to get into that. We all heard about Michael Jordan getting cut from one of his high school teams. Now I want to ask you what kind of went on. So we can talk about that in the next break, having been cut from a couple of high school teams and turning in to a second-team All-American. That's quite a story. So we'll talk about that when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt, and we'll be back.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds. Afternoon high around 89. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, low near 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still, though, have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, 14,000 off list, or starting at 37,105, or 0.9% APR on select new models. Yes, you heard right. 14,000 off or 0.9% APR on new Sierras starting at 37,105. So please check us out at cobblecars.com. All deals with roof credit, stock number G289358.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start second grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us for early break this Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. at the brand new Residence Inn at 9th and R in the Haymarket. We'll showcase the brand new hotel and preview its grand opening. That's early break this Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. at the Residence Inn at 9th and R in the Haymarket.
Citizen soldier and veterans of the Army National Guard, you are invited to celebrate the 3rd of July at the Roca Tavern for a free concert by Sean Cole and the Drunk Monkeys. It all starts at 8 p.m., and it's sponsored by the City Car Wash on 3rd and Main in Hickman.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We got an hour and 20 minutes, Bock, or however they said. To rock your world over here. But, Bock, let's go with Gus Mohawk.
Yeah, it's good. Text line.
Go ahead, read Gus Mohawk.
All right, and again, a reminder, you can text in anytime if you got a question for Mr. Farley or myself or the both of us, or just want to comment. Gus Mohawk says, if you took an all-time Bulldogs team versus an all-time Huskers team, the Cornhuskers would win by at least 28.
Ooh.
Just saying.
I don't know, Bock. That would be pretty. That would be a pretty good game. Now, Bock, I'm going to read the Georgia's all-time team
I'm
right
interested.
here.
Yeah, I'm interested.
All right. At quarterback, Aaron Murray or Matthew Stafford. Which one would you take?
I wouldn't even put Aaron Murray. Maybe David Green or Quincy Carter, but Matthew Stafford probably stands out as the top guy.
All right. Herschel Walker. What other running back? Fullback.
Well, they could have Noshawn Marino as a backup, Garrison Hurst. They've had some good running backs over the years, but Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker's son.
Yeah.
No. Whose son is that? Evander Holyfield's son.
Yeah.
Now, receiver, they got Terrence Edwards, A.J. Green.
There you go. Yeah, good group.
Tight end, Randy McMichael.
They got a few
good
there.
tight end.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman, Matt Stickham, played against him.
Heck, yeah.
Pat Dye.
Okay, yeah.
He went to Georgia?
I think I heard that
from
before.
58 to 60.
Yeah.
Ben Jones.
Okay. Yeah.
David Andrews.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Thomas. These are some big guys.
That's a good line. Yeah.
That's a hog offensive lineman. Now, like we said, we're going to need all big guys on duty that day. Sue, Broderick Thomas. You're going to need your whole deep. Now, let's go on the defensive side, Bock, and see where they at, because I think Georgia's strength against us would be a really good defense.
Mm.
And when I say defense, I'm talking about they're going to come with it. All right, Bob. David Pollock.
David Pollock, yeah. He's kind of their answer to our Trev Alberts.
Yeah. Richard Seymour.
Mm.
What's the big other D tackle that plays for Philly? Either one of them.
Yeah.
Either one of them. I forgot his name, but
I know what you're talking about.
All right. Jarvis Jones from my hometown.
He
was an All-American first round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Nebraska played him in a bowl game once.
Rokon Smith,
yeah.
Yeah. Knox Culpepper. Never heard of him, but he's from 81.
I like his name, though.
Yeah, 81 to 44, 81 to 84. Champ Bailey.
Oof. I think they got the best corner on the field.
Yeah. DeAndre Baker.
Okay.
He's another good one. John Little. Thomas Davis.
Oh yeah, Thomas Davis.
They're missing some players that should be. Hines Ward.
Yeah, you can put him in there for sure.
Bryce Hunter, who played receiver. Nosha Marino, who played running back. When you talk about linebackers, the one that plays for what's his name? He just came.
Dean?
Yeah, Jacoby Dean. Yeah. And they had players that come out. Now, when you talk about kicker, Blankenship.
Rodrigo, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Blankenship.
Good one.
Hunter, Drew Butler. Returner, Drew Borkins.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're not putting Georgia best on this one right here. So I want to go check out another one. But you asked me that question, Bock, when you said what happened to me in high school. Now, I'll tell you this. I was a jokester. I didn't take anything serious. I played my freshman year for a couple of games.
Yeah.
I got my Royal Rock. I went against freshmen. I was running back. I went against the varsity. I got hit probably harder than I ever got hit in high school than I got hit ever.
As a freshman.
Yeah. But I still held on to the ball. And they will say, like, oh, he took that hit? Yeah, I was tough like that because I played quarterback and nose guard.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination.
And so I got kicked off the team my sophomore year.
Why'd you get kicked off the team?
I don't know what I did, Bob. Just some stupid stuff. My sophomore year, I went out there again. I went to a high school to watch them practice. Me and some friends, me and some guys on the team. And that team seen us up there watching them. So about 20 or 30 of them came up. They wanted to fight. So we was talking smack back and forth. And, coach ran me for a week. After that, I quit. I said, I ain't doing that. I quit. So, but my junior year, I went out. My dad said, look, this ain't how we're going to do it this year. He said, once you start something, and he taught me this, that was my life change right there. He said, once you start something, you're going to finish it. You're not going to be a quitter every year. My oldest brother was a star defensive back at my high school. Ended up getting a scholarship with Troy. He was the defensive back of the year in high school. He started actually taught me how to block kicks. I think I advanced him because I wanted to get on the field bad enough that I took something he taught me and I made myself the best at it. My junior year came on. They started playing me a lot. I didn't start. I had a great guy in front of me, Antonio Cook, who's a good friend of mine. We grew up together. He ended up getting a scholarship to FAMU. He was a skinny kid, but he could hit. So, but then, once we started making that run, because we went undefeated through the regular season, my junior year. Well, we went 9-1 during the regular season. We eventually lost to Peach County, which had Jacquez Green and Marcus Robinson, and they was a good team. Fort Valley Country team ran the wishbone option.
Oh, okay.
No, they ran the wing T.
Yeah.
With the two wing backs right there. But they came in motion and they ran the option with it. It was very hard to stop them. We lost the first game 13-14. So we went in the playoffs. We beat the number one team in the state. Berks County. We went down there and beat them 28-6. Came back, we played Peach County in the second round, beat them 21-7. At revenge, I lost. We went third round, we played Mike Bobo then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I got 2 sacks against him. 13, we played a little small school up north Atlanta, Villa Rica. We beat them 13. We beat them 13-10. Their quarterback was probably 5'8", but it felt like he had motor oil on his jersey because we couldn't tackle him. We ended up going to state. We tied eventually.
Yeah.
14-14. There's no overtime in state playoffs. That's what they told us. And turned the lights off.
Co-national champion.
Co-national champion.
Well,
Co-state champion. Yeah. So, my senior year, we didn't have a great year like we did that run because my head coach left and went to Alabama and coached Central Tuscaloosa. He went there. We had a guy who came from a smaller school. He was okay. But I ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year and Linebacker of the Year and Special Teams Player of the Year.
So the team didn't have as good of a year, but you really blew up.
Yeah, I blew up, but I wanted to be a team thing, but we still made it to the second round of the playoffs, and we ended up losing to Appleton County.
Well, let me ask you this, because all of that, it kind of, again, tells the story of how you evolved throughout your high school career. How close were you after having been kicked off freshman and sophomore year to saying, I'm done with football? Or was that never really crossed your mind? It was just...
It never really crossed my mind. I think the coach seen the potential, but he wanted me to get serious about it. He said I wasn't serious enough. I was one of those guys on the back of the bus that'll talk about your mom and dad and everybody else.
Messing around.
Yeah, at the end of the game. And they used to let me ride on the varsity bus because I told good jokes. So, that's why I told, Jalen Carter.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one. But, I told good jokes, but, I ended up, my senior year in high school, we ended up signing 15 guys. Not all of them D1, though.
Was it Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis? Because Jordan
both.
Davis is the big one.
You can put both of them on there.
Yeah.
They I think they defensive line will probably battle the what they call them,
the pipeline?
The pipeline.
Yeah.
They're too big. Richard Seymour. Then you got what's his name? The other linebacker that played for Pittsburgh. He's coming off the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make it clear, by the way, this is I would side with the Huskers, but now that Rashawn's gone, this is a pro Georgia show.
All right, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt right here. And come check us out at 1040 O Street. We'll be right back.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still though have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, $14,000 off list, or starting at $37,105, or 0.9% APR on select new models. Yes, you heard right, $14,000 off or 0.9% APR on new Sierras starting at $37,105. So please check us out at cobblecars.com. All deals with roof credit, stock number G289358.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca. Attention baseball and softball players. The Nebraska Dominators are looking to add players to their baseball and softball teams for the 2026 season. Tryouts are happening now for all age groups, ranging from 7 years old to 14 and under for baseball and 7 years old to 18 and under for softball. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more information today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt. Bill said that was kind of a weak dog bark, Bock.
Hey, yeah, it probably was a little weak.
All right, Brad from Baldwin said, did Farley play offense in high school? I did. I started off as a running back my freshman year, sophomore year, kicked off. I think my junior year. And here's the thing, though, Bob. I ran 4x4 team, 4x1. I ran the 4x1 relay team. We had a real good team my senior year. We dropped the baton. The guy picked it up and still caught everybody, but they didn't let us get in the state. So our second team went. But I was a good 400 runner, 47 guy. I ran kickoff returns back in high school. I ran 3 of them back my senior year. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I had the best game ever in my life. So when she broke up with me, I was able to run back 100-yard kickoff.
Were you happy by the end of the night, or still?
Oh yeah, I told her the week before that, a week after that, hey, break up with me every Friday. So, but we ended up being high school sweethearts, and we dated mostly through my college years until I got to Nebraska.
Well,
so, Jalen Carter, the one that plays for the Eagles, that was what Robbie in Iowa said. 7826 also says Jalen Carter. Now, Bob, what you got for us?
Well, I did want to take a look. Well, there's one more text I wanted to get your thoughts on, just because I know you're a gamer. Is that somebody did also type in, or text in, excuse me, Old Dad 34 says old school Nintendo was the best Blackshirt. I agree. Now you played all these different systems.
First and 10. First and 10 was a good game.
First and 10 was a good game on Nintendo.
John Elway. That was also a good one. Madden wasn't out yet.
Yeah, not on
So
Nintendo.
we had to play like the first and 10, Madden, double dribble.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the baseball that was on Atari 2600.
Okay.
I was a big Centipede fan. Dig Dug, Hamburger Hill, Popeye. I used to love that Popeye game. You ever played Popeye game?
I don't know if I played the Nintendo one.
Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Was
definitely
a lot. Combat with the little balls that you got to try to defend, or you drive the little tanks and shoot them. Graphics we wasn't worried about graphics back then. We was just having fun.
Well, those graphics looked good to you at the time.
At the time, but now they're outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, when I play Call of Duty, man, I got I don't know if he's a mental health guy or escaped prisoner. Which one I got, but he's a tough guy.
Now, do you appreciate the new systems because of all the new graphics, or do you get nostalgic? If I had to say what was your best or favorite system of all time, what would you say?
PlayStation 5. But I get frustrated a lot though when I play, because sometimes you get guys on your team that don't talk. And like today, I played this morning for a couple hours, and a guy downed me, and I'm crawling around, and my teammates are around me. I said, "Hey, you're not gonna pick me up." Guy ran right past me and didn't pick me up. Another guy, Bock. I crawled around for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, nobody picked me up. I said, I hate you guys. I can't play with guys who don't talk and who don't help you out.
Yeah, well, I suppose that might happen on any system. So there is that. I was just interested because I know, like myself, I like I like the new games and all the graphics and all that. But if you ask me my favorite system, I'd probably say like a Game Boy Color or an N64, just because I remember having so much fun on those when I was a kid. So it's kind of interesting to go through that. But in any case, I did also want to get to EA Sports. They released their top 20 quarterbacks for the upcoming game. And we can get to the rankings here in a second, but I want to play spoiler alert from the beginning, is that Dylan Raiola is not in the top 20. Does that bother you, or is that sound about right, considering how Dylan finished off his freshman season? There are a little bit more struggles in the back half than the front half.
Well, I mean, this just not coming from the game. This coming from every sports guy in the nation. When you talk about Dylan Raiola, that he's getting no love this year. Like, he's not being mentioned like he was as that true freshman, that 5-star that came out of high school. I think he has the upside of being great. He has to go out there and prove it though, with great throws. I mean, you have to put the best athletes around him for him to succeed. Also, I mean, he has enough talent, but not enough talent by himself to carry this Nebraska team. And when I say that, you talk about guys like Jacoby Barnett, you talk about guys like Emmitt Smith, Dane Key, you talk about Hyrick moving to tight end to help this team out. And Dylan has to be smart enough to make the right decisions for this team. And I wouldn't care what the magazines or the polls say. Go out there and earn your respect. I mean, you was given a lot of heavy duty stuff last year, but this is your second year. This is to redeem yourself and not make it a sophomore slump, because I don't think that Dylan can take a bad year at Nebraska again.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see kind of how he progresses. Different quarterbacks have different routes they kind of go with it.
I love Brad. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Brad from Baldwin said pitfall. If you remember that game when you try to swing over the little swamp things, that was a good game.
I like that one. I don't know if I played that.
Yeah, pitfall. I forgot about that one. That was in the woods or somewhere.
There's a lot of all those good games. Did you ever play Root Beer Tavern, where you got to kind of keep getting the root beer down to the customers at the time?
Yeah, that's a little phone game or something
I
like
like
that.
one. Yeah,
Contra was the best though.
Yeah. There's a lot of different games there. But yeah, it is interesting with Dylan going into his sophomore year because you generally want to say freshman to sophomore years where you take your biggest leap, and it can be, but it also can be where the defense coordinators have a year to kind of break down your tape and kind of figure you out a little bit. And maybe that's what happened to a degree in the second half of the year as well for Dylan Raiola last year. But it's going to be a big one. You know, there's certain guys like Taylor Martinez, I think, had a better freshman season than sophomore season. Obviously, a completely different quarterback than Dylan Raiola, but just kind of going through examples. And then his junior season, he was the Big Ten co-player of the year on offense. So it's just kind of interesting to see the
My
path.
question
It's not
to you,
always,
Bob,
straight up.
My question to you is that Matt Rule can't be afraid to pull Dylan if he has to. You know, if Dylan goes out and makes two or three terrible throws in the first half and throw 3 interceptions, I think you sit him for a series or two, and let Jimmy Granstad or somebody who's capable of moving the ball. See, that's why we need to have more practice for these backup quarterbacks, because we don't know what Dylan can do or what's going to happen. So we need to have somebody ready, because you can't be afraid to pull him if he's having a bad game.
Well, that is definitely a thought that hasn't crossed my mind as of yet this year. I thought about it, of course, last season. But he's the face of the franchise. He's going to Big Ten Media Days, as we learned yesterday. So that would be quite the decision. And like you said, though, I think sometimes we think, oh no, he's benched now, where they're moving on, he's not the guy anymore. Sometimes it can be good just to sit on the sideline, or maybe it's just that day, whatever it might be, look at what's kind of going on, maybe sit a series out. But as we know, if you sit a series out, that could open the door for a successful series for the guy behind you, and things could never be the same.
All right, I know we're not going to get this off, Bock, so we're going to have to do this next segment, and we're going to add some little more stuff to it. But hey, check us out right here at 93.7. This is Bock in the Black Shirt, live at 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner, like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us for early break this Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. at the brand new Residence Inn at 9th and R in the Haymarket. We'll showcase the brand new hotel and preview its grand opening. That's early break this Thursday from 6 to 9 a.m. at the Residence Inn at 9th and R in the Haymarket.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Attention baseball and softball players. The Nebraska Dominators are looking to add players to their baseball and softball teams for the 2026 season. Tryouts are happening now for all age groups, ranging from 7 years old to 14 and under for baseball and 7 years old to 18 and under for softball. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more information today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley.
Who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are talking sports all day, every day. Football, basketball. That's probably about it. All right, I want to answer this question right here. This is for Brad and John and Cortland and Brad from Baldwin. Brad says you can't sit the franchise player. John and Cortland says have all forgotten what it looks like to have a backup, not prepare to step up or in. If I could recall back in 1994, Nebraska was playing Miami in the Orange Bowl. Tommy was struggling a little bit. Coach Osborne made the decision to pull Tommy out of the game, throw Brooke in there, and Brooke led us down the field to a touchdown. Tommy did go back in the game and still led us back to another touchdown. This is where Coach Osborne this is the coach in him. He wasn't afraid to pull Tommy. Now, Rule can't be afraid to pull Raiola because he's the head coach, first of all. But you got to have a second stringer ready. You got to have somebody that can move the offense just efficiently as Raiola can move it. I mean, that's common sense in college football. You just can't you got to have a backup plan. And when I say backup plan, you got to have one of these guys ready come first game because anything can happen on that field.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there was an instance last year, and again, it happened. We've seen again. I mentioned Taylor Martinez before. He was pulled in the Texas game. Zach Lee went back in and tried to give an opportunity. The next week, Taylor Martinez was starting again. Okay, because you understand he's still got your best chance for the season, your best chance to develop long term, but maybe just again not playing well, the matchup, whatever it might be. So I can see what you're saying. Was there a point last year? Do you think that Dillon maybe would have been benched? In your mind, or what? Because that's the only thing I was thinking is because what you're talking about, and people are saying maybe it's unfathomable to think about. Well, would be some extreme struggles like what we saw with Adrian Martinez at times. Kind of throw 4 interceptions against Purdue, I believe it was, and they're still trotting him back out there. And I just don't know if this is the best opportunity we've got. I would say there was one time last year, the Indiana game,
when he threw that interception, that pick 6.
Well, the Indiana game, he had 3 picks. And I think they were all pretty much right at the end of the half,
quarter, yeah,
and then starting the third quarter. So
I think I think UCLA was a game that we probably could have pulled him for a series to let him get his head straight.
He was pulled for a series after getting knocked out of the game.
Yeah. I mean that comes with the coaches have to have these backups ready. And the thing is about this year is that you got the offensive coordinator at the beginning of the season. You're not scrambling and trying to learn his plays. I think it's great for him to start the season as the offensive coordinator, and we'll see how it goes. And like I tell people, this is not a one-man show. This is going to take all 11 guys to beat this Penn State team and some other teams.
Yeah, it's obviously Nebraska's schedule is a little bit favorable, but speaking of schedule, I did want to also let this know. I just got an email about 25 minutes ago now that Michigan is officially sold out. So Nebraska, Michigan, the 2:30 kickoff, of course, set to be on CBS, is sold out. Now we figure all these games are going to be
sold out. Is that a night game?
Right? It's 2:30.
Oh,
again, because of broadcast partners. Would have been nice for a night
game.
They
can change it, though. They might can change it. You never know. And that's our 30-year reunion game, and I don't want to walk out there and
it's going to be during the daytime.
Yeah. What date is that? September 30th?
September 20th, yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be hot kind of still. And oh, my God.
But it's going to be hard to replicate. Like, that's kind of what we're thinking with that is maybe could be like the Colorado game of last year, but just there's something about a night game, whether you're at LSU or Nebraska or Notre Dame or wherever you might talk about. That's what they say. Like, I've been here before, but I'd like to go to a night game there. There's a different environment to being a night game, and I wish Nebraska would have gotten that night game. Now, remember, if you're kind of thinking about night games as so far, we only know the kickoff times for about half the season. I think 6 of them. The Cincinnati game, of course, is going to be a night game, a late kick, by the way, starting at 8 p.m. if you're getting ready for that Thursday night opener to college football. So maybe don't work on
Friday. I go, I have to come back that same night.
Yeah.
I have to. I have to clean too. I got one building on Thursday, so maybe on the way back from the game, if somebody rides with me, we have to stop in Omaha and clean the building real fast. It'll take 2 of us 10 minutes.
Now, if we're looking at Memorial Stadium, still don't have a night game atmosphere scheduled, I would say. Akron is a night game at 6:30, but there's only so much the atmosphere is
USC, what time is that game?
They do not have that one scheduled as
that would be a nice night game.
Yeah. The only other night game they have right now is 7 p.m. on Fox, a Friday night game against Minnesota, but that's in the Twin Cities. So
we might have to go to that one. How long it takes to get to Minnesota?
I did that drive for Matt Rowe's first game. I think it was felt like maybe 6-7 hours, something like that. It wasn't too bad.
That's okay.
Yeah, and it's worth the drive. They kind of got a newer stadium there, and what I liked about it again is there's, as opposed to Memorial Stadium, I think it has holds 60,000 people, and therefore there's not a bad seat in the house. I was at one time, I think, sitting pretty close to the top there, and it felt like I was, halfway up Memorial Stadium at the 50-yard line. So it was a fantastic seat to me.
Yeah, Johnny Courtney said batting practice in June, 30th in September. Come on, Terrell. Well, it's on the 29 days of September. John, I don't keep up with the calendar. My day goes one by one. And yes, I did do batting practice the other day, and I had fun.
Yeah. Were you sore?
Sore the next morning. I haven't swung a bat since I was 13 years old, Bock, and that had to be, I'm old.
Yeah, that's a long time.
37 years, Bock, since I swung a bat. But I did make contact with a couple of balls. I did get one to the outfield. I did get a couple of line drive hits that I probably would have got on base with my speed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fun. Rudy did it. Nick did it. We had fun out there. Pete Ferguson, he was out there.
Did you get underneath the one that went to the outfield, or just kind of a line drive still?
Just kind of little
blooper?
Not a little straight, just a little line drive.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That would have failed right there in between the shortstop and the right fielder.
Yeah, that batting practice humbled me a little bit because I thought maybe.
Oh, well, he sped it up one time, Bock, and it scared me. I was like, he said, just look at it, let it cut. I stood back and see. I was like, nah, that's too fast right there. Woo! That's what I was like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah, it still amazes me. There's things in sports that if you haven't done them are incredibly difficult to imagine doing. I always feel like cornerback is one of those, right? The wide receiver knows what route he's going to run. Cornerback's a difficult position to play. But baseball, I mean, just stepping in the batting cages, they usually have the ones like, you can start at the 60 miles per hour and then go to 90 or whatever. I even go to the 61. I'm like, how do people hit this?
Yeah.
Especially when you get to 90s. Like, it's just a blind swing for me. And it's got to be almost as soon as I see it releasing.
Just imagine 100 miles per hour fastball coming at you.
Yeah, difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, I'll just walk back and say, hey, 1 strike equals 3 strikes for me. All right, Bock, let's read this college football 26 quarterback ratings.
Yeah, we got it up here. We were talking about it last segment, but we're mostly just started a conversation on Dylan Raiola. So let's get into the ratings overall. 3 players ranked at 92. They've got Cade Klubnik of Clemson ranked first. I don't know if that means he's a higher rated 92, but one way or the other, along with Garrett Nussmeier of LSU and Drew Aller of Penn State. And then we drop down to the 91 ranking. Sam Leavitt of Arizona State is in at number 4. Running out the top 5 is Lenora Sellers of South Carolina. Any problem with our top 5 so far?
No, all good quarterbacks, all proven last year. Cade Klubnik probably got the nod over Garrett a little bit to me. Lenora Sellers is a special kid. Sam Leavitt also. Drew Aller, I think, is probably the best out of all of these. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's interesting there at 4 and 5. And I like Sam Leavitt, but again, I still think Arizona State's going to drop off. We're going to see. It's going to be on him. But without their star running back, it's going to be tough because he not only was a great in the running game, he was the best running back out of the backfield receiving as well. Talking about Cam Scatterbo. So I expect Sam Leavitt to have a little bit of drop off. And then at 5, Lenora Sellers, I expect him to rise up. I mean, he is a great player, up and coming player.
I expect him to be the number 1 draft in a couple of years when he come out. Number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
Especially how he grew over the season last year.
Yeah, we'll see. If he can make those similar strides, he definitely could be the top quarterback in college football this year. 6 through 10 goes John Mateer at Oklahoma. Very interesting spot for him. Remember, he was at Washington State, put up a lot of numbers. Oklahoma in dire need of some wins. So we'll see what kind of happened there with Brent Venables and the Sooners. Carson Beck coming off an injury, transferring to Miami, also at 91, as well as we go through the 91 rankings. Then we get to the 90s to round out the top 10. Blake Horvath at Navy. Arch Manning.
Navy?
Navy.
He got to run the option to death,
running quarterback, yeah.
I might play with them.
Yeah, I don't think he passes very much. Arch Manning. Interesting to me because there's a lot of people that have Arch Manning as their favorite to win the Heisman.
Except Steve Spurrier.
This or that. But yeah, not Steve Spurrier. He doesn't buy into it. But this game has him ranked at 90, which is still a good ranking, but not exactly the top of the board. So I appreciate that. And then DJ Lagway at Florida coming in at number 10, also a 90 overall ranking. We can jump to the 89s here. Avery Johnson from Kansas State, Kevin Jennings from SMU, Darian Mensah from Duke. Remember, they paid a good price to get him. Luke Altmaier at number 14, another 89 in there. And he did not wow us. I remember coming into the Illinois game. He beat us. Yeah.
I think he didn't beat us with his arms. He beat us with his feet, his legs.
Absolutely.
So he was able to break containment, get out of containment, find the holes that was in the defense when it was time for him to take off. And he did hurt us more than the running game did, than running backs.
Yeah, and if you look at it too, that he had one of his better statistical games against Nebraska. So we got probably the best look at Luke Altmaier. If he's able to back that up, we'll see. Number 15, how about Colorado's Caden Salter, the transfer from Liberty?
Pretty good quarterback right there.
Yeah, we'll see what Deion can do with a high-rated quarterback, not just in the game, but in general. Nico Iamaleava. Check that logo next to him. It's UCLA, not Tennessee.
Yeah.
He is ranked in at 88. Diego Pavia. Yeah. Boo Diego.
Yeah.
But he's ranked at 88.
I want to play.
Well.
I'm going to play with Vanderbilt and get him knocked out for the season. So and his backup's going to be Terrell Farley Jr. I'm going to come in at quarterback and win the Heisman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good plan. Rocco Beck at Iowa State, also 88. Sawyer Robinson, 88. But Jake Retzlaff, who looks like he's on his way out of BYU, also ranked at 88. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know where he'll be on the game. It's not like you can go to free agency and pick him up. So I don't know what the plan is for him. But if he does make the game or decide a landing spot soon, they've got him ranked pretty high.
Well, we all know what the day is, Bock. It's July 1st. Do you know what July 1st starts?
What's that?
This is the new era of college football where they can start paying players starting July 1st. The school has
calendar.
So I don't know if they're doing it monthly or how they're going to do it, but we'll have to find out some stuff for how this thing's going to go. I know some teams are already prepared their teams to cut down. I mean, even though, there's a grandfather clause in it, I think some teams do it because the way this budget is set up with the 22-point-something million that it only covers the 105. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, really? And Nebraska's going to exceed that. They're probably going to, like Rule say, he might go 125. So I don't know how that's going to work, but you guys will think of a way to generate more money for these guys. And maybe NIL or help out. But, which quarterback that you think that should be on here who's missing, besides people think Dylan Raiola should be on here?
Well, and that's what there's a few notes I can get to here. I don't know if he should be ranked this high, but would expect him to be maybe top 20 by the end of the season, is Washington's Damon Williams Jr. We've talked about him, how he got the nod over Dylan Raiola in a lot of these preseason rankings as well, despite only really having started that bowl game. But he looked fantastic in the bowl game, and not just like, oh yeah, he put up some good numbers. He looked like he's kind of got that it quality, the special kind of qualities that don't come around too often. And then just recently, he won the Riddell Sports Air It Out Championship at the Manning Passing Academy. His performance comes 2 years after Washington star Michael Penix Jr. won the same competition. Of course, he had a very fantastic career shortly after that, and specifically his senior year after that. Now, he was already well known, obviously, from Indiana coming in, but that would be one.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Kansas quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Still there.
Yeah. What's his name?
Yeah, good question.
He's good. He could be better.
Seems like he's been there forever now.
I can't think of this kid now. I'm gonna look it up real fast, but he's pretty good.
Jalen Daniels.
Yeah. He's a runner. I mean, I watched Kansas a little bit. I think it was the Colorado game or one game, but this kid is actually better than what we think he is.
Well, it's interesting because it was 2022 was kind of the big year, obviously, for him and Kansas football. He had 18 touchdowns and 4 picks. Then the year after that, 2023, kind of injury riddled, didn't get to play a whole lot, 5-1, but it was real quick. I think he was injured within the first 2 games. And then last year, trying to bounce back, 14 touchdowns, 12 picks. So didn't return to form from what he's been the previous year. But yeah, I think he's got another year coming up here. So we'll see if he can. And that would be big. He's very exciting. I went to one of his games, I think it was 2023, against Duke, and just the way he was able to lead them back was very interesting. Now, I did want to also say this because you mentioned June 1st. July 1st. And that is at least, again, the start of the new academic or athletic year for colleges around campus. That's why they kind of finished up that athletic department ranking overall. And last year, it meant a lot of different changes. Last year, the Pac-12 had dissolved here on July 1st. Teams, the Big 12, including the Big 10, adding Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA. So happy 1-year anniversary. Hopefully everybody had fun their first year in the league. I know Oregon did because they won the title. And so, of course, there was also the moves in the SEC. The Pac-12, you remember, was dispersed into the ACC and Big 12 as well. So all that happened last year. This year, not a whole lot of realignment. Missouri State officially into the FBS and CUSA this year. UMass officially joins the MAC today. So that's something we're going to have to get used to. Northern Illinois has one more year in the MAC before they join the Mountain West July 1st of next year. Kennesaw State is eligible for postseason play, so that's good for them in that way. And then Texas State was officially welcomed in today by the Pac-12, though it will not be official until next year as well. And then if you're looking at something kind of interesting as we kind of get to this July season, and like you're saying, kind of getting into the era of NIL Go and payment kind of coming from the schools and all that. Open Doors did a little study here that I thought was fascinating. This past June, Open Doors did a study, said NIL collectives paid athletes 824% more than they did last year. Now, that is probably due to a last-ditch effort to get all the NIL payments in that were promised before NIL Go launches on July 11th. Remember, NIL Go is kind of the new overseeing organization that is going to make sure that this is not pay-for-play, that you're not just getting paid an enormous amount for not, kind of putting that work back in. So this June was kind of the last month for the wild, wild west of the NIL era, as far as we know. Maybe NIL Go will have as much power as the NCAA did, and it really won't amount to anything. But at least as they tried to set it that way, and it looks like a lot of collectives went along with it, and feeling that like this NIL Go is going to have a little bit more power than NCAA did. 824% more than last June. Big payday for a lot of folks around the country.
1,000,000% more than us.
Yeah. yeah. Go to that percent.
The little $18, $22 we got after the game wasn't nothing.
Did you get $20 after the game?
No, $18.
Yeah.
$18, $20. They used to give it to us for per diem. Enough to go out and buy you a couple of drinks and something to eat.
Something else, by the way, that's official in today, and we got about a minute here. Is that Auburn is officially a Nike school. They've got a 10-year deal there for Auburn. They previously were signed with Under Armour for 19 years. So that's a big, big difference there. Would you ever envision the day or be frustrated if Nebraska left Adidas? Are you a brand loyal because of Nebraska?
Well, you should see my collection of Nikes at home, but my Jordans. But I think Adidas has done a great job. We started it off in '95. They was learning, and we learned what shoes to play. I played with low top shoes, turf shoes, so I was able to spat my legs and tape my ankles, and I felt faster because I had low top shoes on for turf shoes. So, I think they came a long way. Some of their gear is great to have. I like the way they brand Nebraska stuff and just good quality stuff.
Yeah, they haven't done alternate jerseys the last couple of years, so maybe that kind of helps the crowd that's anti-Adidas come down on them.
All right. Take us out, Bock.
All right, you're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back with two more segments. Got a half an hour left here on 93.7 The Ticket.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild will be open on the 4th of July, serving up our award-winning barbecue. Pick up a slab of slow-smoked ribs and a family pack on the way to your celebration. They come loaded with your choice of meats and sides, complete with buns and our famous Hog Wild sauce. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Whoa! 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Blackshirt here live on the air. We are ready to rip some more knowledge in your heads for this college football season. Bock, when we talk about rivalries in football, college football especially, you think of Oklahoma, Nebraska, Florida, Florida State, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, UCLA. But I got something different where I want to come to you at when I talk about these rivalries. I'm talking about coaches' rivalries, and I'm talking about the Tom Osborne versus Barry Swisher, Bobby Bowden versus Dennis Erickson, Lou Holtz versus Joe Paterno. You know, people don't understand this young generation. They don't understand like the Bo Schemberger versus
Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes. That right there. That when coaches really point fingers at you on the other side of the field. But hey, I'm going to tell you about the best coaches rivalry over the last 25 years, Bock. And this starts off in the Big 12. Mac Brown versus Bob Stoops.
Ooh. Yeah,
them were some good ones back in the days.
Yeah, that's going back to the I
99 to 13.
Ones. Yeah.
Bob Stoops holds the record, 9-6 versus Mac Brown.
That makes sense. Oklahoma did seem to win more of those matchups than not. But man, that was good. You think about the Roy Williams, jump over the end zone to sack Phil Simms in there. I mean, that they had some great rivalries. And again, now I say now I say Michigan, Ohio State, without a doubt, the best rivalry in college football. I don't know if it was just because we were in the Big 12 or it was because Bob Stoops, Mac Brown, the height of those games, those teams always seem to be in the top 5. That used to be, to me, the rivalry in college football. Maybe it was when they made us change, when we used to call it the Red River Shootout. Now they made us change it to the Red River Rivalry. Maybe that took it down a bit, but in all seriousness, that was fantastic. And it's fortunate because I know, and you might get to this eventually, is Jim Harbaugh and Urban Meyer, but it just didn't seem like they had enough time to, you just had a few years, throw them in there real quick. That's what I kind of love about Bob Stoops and Mac Brown is what did you say? He had like 15, 14 games in there?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. The next one, it was only a 2-year time period, but Jim Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll. He did upset Pete Carroll, 2007.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest upset in college football history by point spread.
Yeah. Like 50 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Or something.
Stafford took the lead. Yep, 50 broke the 50-point mark, and a few minutes later, eventually 55-21. All right, this is a good one. Lane Kiffin versus Urban Meyer. This is only 1 year. Because Lane Kiffin got fired for off the field battles with stuff. So, I don't really call that a good rivalry right there.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been some things that have been said, and that could maybe have added to it. I don't necessarily remember that one. When you said Lane Kiffin, I was thinking that just the whole University of Tennessee was just frustrated after he dipped out of them after a year. But yeah, I don't know. That's not one that.
Well, I remember a good one: Vince Dooley and Pat Dye. That's one of the South latest rivalry right there. I used to watch them games all the time right there.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned too, just going back to Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden. I know you kind of mentioned Dennis Erickson, but Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden was awesome. Remember when Steve Spurrier, who again we just quoted recently, he's always great for a quote, called FSU Free Shoes University. So there was always a good amount of talk going on in those games.
All right, this is going to be a good one right here. Nick Saban versus Kirby Smart. Now, Nick Saban had it good for a couple of years. And I don't think he had it good because Kirby was at Alabama for most of his time.
Yeah.
And then he went to Georgia. And I think, what's the record? It's not telling me a record. 16-23. I got to see who won them between them. I know Georgia won 2 in a row. Then Alabama came back and won 1. So
yeah, I think Nick Saban won a majority of those till Georgia went on their, obviously back-to-back streak. But even in that back-to-back streak, I believe it was tied at 1-1 because they didn't play in 2022.
They lost 1 year to him and still won the national
Yeah, that
title.
was 2021, I think, when they split and won the SEC title.
Yeah.
But lost in the regular season.
All right, this is another Nick Saban.
Oh, super.
Nick Saban versus Jimbo Fisher.
I see a bit of a theme coming here is his former coaches that he had on staff. I don't know. Did they clash too often? Would be my guess there.
Well, here's what they clashed about. Saban accused Texas A&M of having brought every player on their team after the Aggies landed the #1 recruiting class of 22.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. That was all the talk of that offseason. That's correct.
Yeah. So
it
that
just never got
was
to
it.
the field too much.
So let's see another one. Oh, Jim Harbaugh versus Ryan Day. He took the I think Jim won that one.
Well, Jim did win that one, and that's kind of the interesting part of it is Jim Harbaugh versus Urban Meyer was supposed to be the rivalry that was going to be set up there, but it's just kind of shifted, right? It's Jim Harbaugh could not beat Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer steps out, he moves. And now Ryan Day steps in. Now Ryan Day can't beat Jim Harbaugh. Okay, now Jim Harbaugh's out. He moves along. And now we're going to see kind of what happens here. Ryan Day's still looking for another victory over Michigan. I think he's 1-4 at this point against them. But is it going to now turn the other way? It didn't last year. But or maybe we'll just see it be an even battle moving forward.
Matt Rule, this is one I'm making up, versus Kurt Ferentz.
Handshake. Yeah. The argument about the handshakes. That could be one. Matt Rule versus Deion Sanders. The prayers at midfield. There's been some.
Matt Rule versus Brent. What's his name at Illinois?
Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could do that one.
That's a big. He looks mean.
He does look mean. Yeah.
He does. He looked like he's never smiles, and that his kids are scared of him. I would be scared of him too. If my dad is that big, but
he's actually a fun guy. It seems like.
Yeah,
Brett.
yeah, but he still look mean. All right, Bock, that was kind of a weak one right there. I got the Walter Camp preseason All-American team coming out right here.
Okay.
I got it. Cade Klubnik, Clemson, quarterback.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame.
Love it.
Nicholas Singleton, Penn State.
Interesting.
Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State.
Not surprised.
Ryan Williams, Alabama.
Makes sense.
Eli Storer, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I am interested in him. He's a lot of people have him as the top tight end in the nation. And, Diego Papa, as we talked about, not afraid of talking. They said they're going to take over Tennessee this year.
Caden Proctor. The switcheroo, man.
I think he spent 2 weeks at Iowa.
Yeah.
Most of his career
Give
at
me
Alabama.
your money and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Francis Mulalaga, Miami. Spencer Frano, Utah. Cage Casey, Boise State. And Jack Slaughter, Florida.
That's almost interesting just in the names that aren't in there. You usually hear Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa, in that group. But it seems like a fresh group of players in there for the offensive line.
Second team, Sam Levitt.
Okay.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Isaac Brown, Louisville.
Okay.
Malik Hughes, Oregon. Elijah Sarrett, Indiana.
He's fantastic against us.
Jordan Tyson, Arizona State.
Yeah.
Justin Jolly, North Carolina. Logan Jones, Iowa. Amir Reed Adams, Texas A&M. Caden Green, Missouri. Overlock something at Penn State. I can't say his name. It's strange. Then Jordan Seaton, Colorado. That's the big guy.
Yeah, the big
freshman last year.
And there's a few of those names, those Penn State Iowas that I was kind of like I was saying. Usually you get those offensive linemen in there.
All right. And since Rashawn says that Penn State doesn't have a defensive lineman, Zane Durant, Penn State.
First team?
Yes.
First team?
Colin Simmons, Texas. This is D-line.
Yeah.
Dylan Stewart, South Carolina. Peter Woods, Clemson. Anthony Hill, Texas. Kyle Lewis, Pitt. Teron York, Texas A&M. Caleb Downs, Ohio State. Dramad McCoy, Tennessee. Leonard Moore, Notre Dame. D'Angelo Pons, Indiana. That is your first team. Now, I'm going to go to second team right here. Let me get it. Come on, thing. There we go. All right, Dante Caforne, Cincinnati. So they do have a defensive lineman. That's going to come after us.
Look
so,
out for that, yeah.
Yep. Mikael Kamara, Indiana. Tim Keenan III, Alabama. TJ Parker, Clemson. Jason Henderson, Old Dominion.
Should have transferred. Didn't you hear about the NIL era?
Yeah. Sartain Perkins, Ole Miss. Weeks, LSU. Isaiah Nowabi, SMU. Kai Perch, Minnesota. Michael Taft, Texas. And Dylan Thielman, Oregon.
Yeah, the former Purdue transfer there.
What
he's
is the
getting a
LSU linebacker? Ain't he Harold Perkins?
Harold Perkins, yeah.
He's coming back, ain't he?
I think so. And I think I don't know. He's kind of fallen off from favor for a lot of people. Interesting, though, as you go through those names, to hear 3 Indiana names in there. Not necessarily surprised with Kamara and Surratt and some of the guys we talked about before, but a lot of people expecting the drop off from Indiana this year. They got a few guys up there for All-American. 3 of them that we announced.
All right, 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer,
Infrastructure,
Bauer,
Underground,
Brant Excavating. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner, like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
An award-winning softball season deserves a celebration. Don't miss your chance to congratulate Jordy Ball in person. Join the team at Midwest Bank for a special meet and greet on July 16th at their Jamie Lane location as they recognize her incredible achievements. Bring your friends, your team spirit, and your favorite gear for Jordy to sign, and it all kicks off at 4 p.m. They can't wait to see you there. Get all the details at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds. Afternoon high around 89. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, below near 66. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All righty, last segment here at 93.7 The Ticket, man. We are rolling today, Bock. We are having some fun, and I think we did some very good segments on here.
Yeah, it was a good first day of Bock and the Blackshirt. Of course, we've done this show before, so it's not like we completely don't know each other or anything like that. We've got some chemistry I think we've worked on, but yeah, for the Bock and the Blackshirt debut show and its new little slot here, I think we've done well.
All right, Bill and Bennett, we haven't forgot about you, Bill and the Gap Band. We're going to get you later on in the week. We have to get things going first on Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. Robbie and I will say it. Also, Bobby Bonilla birthday today, and the guy gets $1 million today, don't he, Buck?
He does. Is it his birthday? Did he sign it on his birthday too?
I don't know. I'm thinking for sure he gets it every year on his birthday, don't he?
Well, I know it's Bobby Bonilla Day, but I don't know if it's his birthday. No, he's born on February 23rd. This is just the day he gets his over $1 million.
Hey, it's a birthday to me. Happy birthday. Give me $1 million. Hey, if I get $1 million on that day, it's my birthday, Bock, because it's a great the best present ever.
1.193 million that Bobby Bonilla got today, and he will still until the year 2035. Remember, Shohei Ohtani signed a future deal that's going to be like that as well. So we'll be talking about Bobby Bonilla till 2035, then we'll start talking about Shohei Ohtani. Although he might probably still be playing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Listen, that's a
he's pitching and everything now, so that's a great thing on him. Johnny Cortland, humidity is low in September. You'll be all right. All right. Johnny Cortland has a nice looking dog. Did you see the dog he brought in the other day?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Well, he had it down at the baseball field, and I think those are the type of dogs that you catch women with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like walking a baby in the mall with you. Walking a dog like that will get you a lot of women too.
Was it a Bark at the Park? Do you know? Because I know the Salt Dogs had Bark at the Park.
Yeah, he had it down at the park with us the other day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
cute,
he brought it in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Cute little dog.
Yeah.
Derek in the car says Coach Raiola has quietly built a stellar offensive line for now and the future. I suspect Coach Rule is very pleased and has been a work in progress, but the future does look bright. The last 3 classes will soon be contributed, and this is key because getting linemen from the portal is a crap shot at best. Great show. Nice rebranding of the title.
Yeah, there we go. We didn't mention this, so we probably should. I want to ask you about it. Claude Puma, the new Nebraska tackle who's committed to Nebraska, 4-star offensive tackle from Chicago. He's not a small guy. I think he goes 6'7", 6'8", over 300 pounds, and he is now Nebraska's top-rated recruit. Depending on what site you look at, Danny Odom's going to be fighting in there as well. But the point is, both those guys are top 250 guys. So as we talked about Matt Rule's strategy to kind of maybe slow play the in-state kids, go after, take some big swings. Some of those big swings are landing, specifically on the offensive line now, where they've got 11 commits total, 4 of them on the offensive line. And again, Puma, along with Odom, makes you feel pretty good getting top 250 guys. Outside of top 250 guys that have offers from just about everywhere, include Nayland Scott and Luke Sorensen, or at least big names. So they've got at least, it's still a small class, just 11 guys. So it's not going to be ranked top 10 in the country or anything, but it's starting to come together.
Yeah, I think they're doing an excellent job. You also have a linebacker to look out for.
Yeah.
Then you have another wide receiver who might try to commit. I think Matt Rule's doing an excellent job. Big guys he's getting in here. Some guys from the past couple of recruiting cycles that I want to see, Sam Sledge, however that goes, still have him. The Stumper out there, the kid that we got a couple of years ago, I call him the Stumper because he plays a different type of football.
Mason,
yeah. So I think we're getting where we need to be with depth wise on the offensive line. I think we need to hit a couple of more D tackles in this cycle right here to help the defensive line out. Been quiet on the defensive side, but I think if we get that 4-star linebacker and we got a corner a week or so ago.
Yeah, they've got a few guys.
I think Matt Rule is doing a great job.
Yeah, it's starting to come together, and I still believe, as excited as we can be for that. Yeah, as excited as it can be for that, I still think Nebraska's going to do a majority of their damage in the transfer portal, which that obviously doesn't ramp up until closer to the end of the cycle. So,
I think the 2 guys we got this year out of the transfer portal, Rocco Spindler will help out indeed, and Elijah Pritchett. So, you look at those 2 guys who really have experience in playing. Elijah coming from Alabama and Rocco's coming from Notre Dame. So, you throw in Henry and a couple of more guys, and if we get a healthy, what's his name from the tall guy?
Gunnar Gatula?
No. He tore his knee up last year.
Oh, yeah, Prohaska.
Yeah, Teddy P. If you can get a healthy Teddy P, you have some good backups, and you have a quality offensive line. Now, I still think we need just to go through it. I just think we need to go through some fall camp just with our heads on straight and just go out there and play football.
Yeah, well, my goodness, let's hope for not too many, or if any, fall camp injuries, because those can always come in, surprise you, make you kind of change your plans going in. Some years it's quiet, some years you get one or two ones that hurt pretty bad.
All right, day one is in the books for Bock and the Blackshirt. As we count down, we got 30 more days together, Bock, and we'll see how things go and see if we can take it a little farther. Hey, thank you for listening to the show, and we welcome y'all to call in or text anytime tomorrow when we're on, and period, when we're on call, and let's have some fun and talk college football, NFL football, college baseball, basketball, everything in hand. Thank you for listening to the show. 93.7 The Ticket, and we're out.